I want to dedicate this episode of Gone Hollow to the glory of the Rat King. He's merciful, he's a pretty cool guy, and he now trusts in me as he would any rat. Essentially, the rats had a pact with humanity to let the rats rule everything beneath the world's surface, and the human bastards went and broke it, so lately I've been down to help the rats get some payback. Just doing regular world invasions as a red phantom can be pretty fun, but I think the Rat Covenant is really something special. So basically in Dark Souls, it feels like you're in this world that wants you to suffer. And when you join up with the rats, you kind of get to become a part of this unfair world that's been trying to grind you down, and then you get to put that weight on someone else. So the way this works is that there are two specific areas where you can pull other people into your world. All the creatures there are your allies, and they'll try to help you murder the other player. I'd been playing Deception 4 at the same time I was playing Dark Souls, and Deception 4 is basically a game about running around your devil castle, laying down traps, and murdering intruders. And I think it honestly really influenced me. So I had been kind of reluctant to invade people's games before, but when I found my way to the Grave of Saints, I thought, maybe this could be my lair. Maybe I belong in this burrow with these rats. And a lot of the players that walk into the rat areas don't walk out. The Rat Covenant really stacks the odds in your favor. It is not a fair fight at all, but honestly, I think that's what makes it great. So I also figured out a trick to make it even harder on the invaders. You can use a pyromancy called Warmth to activate enemies in your world before the player actually gets to them. So when someone invades your game, you can kind of wake up a few extra friends by hitting them with a spell to make sure the invaders get a really warm welcome. I also use the special attack of the Channeler's Trident to give them an attack buff. So I usually get in there with poison weapons myself, which is, I guess, kind of part of the Rat Covenant RP since the rats are also poisonous. But I have to admit that I do feel some pride when I see a swarm of rats just jump on a guy and chew him up all by themselves. Eventually, when my little rat friends died off by being killed too many times by invaders, I used a bonfire ascetic to reset the area with stronger enemies. You can use pretty much the same tricks in the Doors of Pharos, which also has far more traps to activate using items called Pharos Stones. And every time you get a successful kill in the Rat Covenant, you get an extra Pharos Stone. So I basically went into this huge area with plenty of stones to spare and activated almost every trap before I invited in my first guest to his doom. So it is possible for someone who's summoned into your world to make it out alive if they either kill you, get to the fog gate, or last 10 minutes. Then they win. So while it is really unfair, it does give that player a chance to live through a really harrowing experience and come out with a good story.
I'm sorry.
Personally though, I'd just really rather be on the side of the rats. The Rat King will hand out some good rewards. He's not an ungenerous guy, and I really encourage my fellow man to turn against their own kind and consider signing up for the Rat Covenant. This has been Gone Hollow. This is a weekly series, and tune in next week to hear more weird shit about Dark Souls.
The insolent fools line up to trample upon our burrows. My servant, dispatch these invaders, and thy reward will be handsome indeed.